Eso ahí en la empresa grande. ஷேர் பண்ணல சரி பரவாயில்ல பரவாயில்ல ஷேர் பண்ணீங்கன்னா அது உட்காந்து இருக்கணும் உங்களுக்கு ஞாபகம் இருக்காங்க அப்படிங்கிற உங்களுக்கு மேலே ட்ராப் பண்ணிருந்தாங்க Hey team, good afternoon. We will wait for a few more minutes to connect the session. So team, can you hear my voice?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let me share my screen.
Yes, sir.
So, so for your note, this session is being recorded. So this is what the Power Builder interface looks like. So we have the so we have the tools, the toolbars, the left side object libraries, everything is visible. So today we are going to see the CRUD operations related to the Power Builder. Okay, any doubt? Um, One second. Okay, I'm sorry. So today what we are going to see is introductions and then the basic targets for application creation, DB connections, thread operations. Finally, Shivani. Okay. Okay, let me open a new session, new instance. And workspace. In order to create a workspace, for every application, we do need a workspace. For that, we are now going to create a folder, example, demo application. We are now going to place the workspace under this. Workspace is nothing but a space where we are going to work and put all our objects there. Here we have. I'm naming it as workspace. Once we have created this workspace, we need to create a target. So that is the sequence. Say, for example, in the Power Builder application, we have the different types of tabs available, which is in the sequence of target. And then we need to create libraries. Once we create all the libraries, we need to create then Power Builder objects, data window, and then the database related connections. Finally, this wizard is help to deploy the project. Okay. Karthik, is it fine to continue in English or in Tamil? English is fine. Thanks. So we have different types of applications. We can use the .NET Web Services, web forms. So these are all the type of applications. Default application is default is here, the basic applications. Okay, so now once the workspace is created, we need to put the application name. Example, if it is POS, then POS. Now we are going to create a demo application. Okay? Once we create that, the respective libraries and the target has been created automatically in the demo application folder. Yes. So this is the introduction, and then this is how we need to create the targets, the initial objects of the application. This is also called as application object. Okay. So when we compile and run the application or run this demo application, the execution will come to this open event. So here in Power Builder, we have the declaration. Here we have objects, we have controls. Okay, the left side is maximum for controls. Here we have all the respective events like close. Event is nothing but a function or method. Think more. When we run the Power Builder application, the very beginning, the open event will be triggered out. Okay. In order to run the application, here run demo, or we can use this one. If I click this, the application need a script for it to open an event. We want to edit the script now. Yes. Without any script, the application can't do anything. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create one first window. Okay. In order to create a window, first we created the workspace and then the target that creates the Power Builder and then the application objects. So inside the library, we need to create the Power Builder objects. So I'm going to add one window object. Okay. So we have completed the library and then Power Builder objects. Here we have a list of objects like windows, menus, structure, functions. Mainly, this is the object that we are mostly going to use as a services object. Okay, so these are all the inbuilt Power Builder related objects. So we are now going to take this first window as, and we are going to name it as W_main. Inside the demo.pbl. Okay, we can create any number of PBLs and we can place the respective objects. Example, if you take any building software, we will create a target as POS front office. Okay, then we are going to automatically this POS front office PBL will be created. And then this default application will be created. If we need to create one more library with the name of sales, then we can go here and create one library in the name of sales. And we can organize or put all the sales related objects inside this library. Okay, so now we are now going to see only the credit related operation. For that, I have created this. And then I'm going to place one static text from the tools. We can go from insert controls or can go here. Okay. So the Power Builder, it's very oops oriented programming language. So it has its own properties, the right side. So if it is static text, we can give its name like welcome to demo application. Yes. Demo text. What title? Is good if we give some relative name as a naming convention. ST is the prefix. So Power Builder we used to maintain for we have several controls like checkbox means CBX underscore. Command button means CB underscore. If it is a text box, we don't have a text box here. We have a single line edit, which is SLE. Say for example, if I place this, then this is how it looks like. So we can put it as SLE username, SLE password. Okay, if we gives the property as password, then the characters inside will get hidden. Yeah. So now we are going mainly focus on the thread operations. So before that, we will run this one. If the object is not saved, it shows asterisk like this. So I'm pressing save and running. Okay. Still, we didn't add any script. What I'm going to do when I run the application, first time it should open the window event. Window main. Save. Okay. So Power Builder is not a case sensitive, so we can use caps or lower. Now it's not something like a Java, like very strict oriented. We need to put the semicolon at the end. No, it doesn't mean that. It's very friendly. And I do run or control R. Okay, we can do this. So here the title looks not that much nice. So I'm going to change the window title as so we have different types of windows. So once you get a chance, you can go through each in detail. So what are the types of windows like MDI, MDI help, pop-up, response. So response means something like if it is any error message when we give the credentials, there is a window will pop out. We need to respond to that before perform any operations. So those kind of windows for MDI and MDI help. If we choose the window type as MDI, then we need to associate a menu along with this. So in our CRUD operation, we are not going to perform menu. So I'm just mentioning as main. Okay. In order to start the CRUD operations, we need a database connection. Okay. So for that, what I used to do, I prefer the SQL Server as the backend technology. I'm going to create one table for our CRUD operations. I'm going to perform a transaction object and insert one row. And then we can put some value and then we can edit the row and if possible we delete it. Okay. So I'm copy the server name. Connect. We have some client databases. We are now going to create new database name. Okay. As usual, the SQL Server have the MDF and LDF in one location. For MDF, it has the data master data file and it's a log data file. It is located here. We have created the database. We are now going to create one table. We can create a table either in interface or through query. Okay. For example, ID NCAP. So I would like to explain about the native bind here. That NCAP means for character of 10, which holds only the character with the length of 10. If it is NCAP, it can able to bind the native language like Tamil, Arabic, Urdu, any languages. If we choose the native as the data type, we can have native varchar. See, okay. So then we can put the Tamil text with the size of 50 less. Okay. So here we are now going to create some few examples. So obviously this should not be an nullable field. So data type int identity specification. And we can double click on it. Okay, increment one by one. Okay. Then we don't know the name, so we put varchar of 15, which would not be null. Position. Date of join. Here we will allow null here because sometimes HR doesn't know. Or this example we will see how null looks like, and then we put date of joining. And we have money data there. Table name is employee. Okay, I press Ctrl S. This screen comes up. It's just simple as that to create the table in the SQL Server. We want to see the syntax. We can go here. See, we want to drop table. employee. This table won't be there. So for example, you want to create a table with this field as a primary key. I'll mention it here and run it again. Okay. Now this employee becomes the primary key of this table. Now we go back to the Power Builder and need to connect the database. Before establishing the connection between the application and the Power Builder, we need to connect the IDE with the database. Okay, IDE is nothing but the Power Builder integrated development environment. It is something like Java SDK kind of. So we have the database already with the same server but with a different database. We are now going to create one more profile. If it is SQL Server, we need to go to this ADO Microsoft.NET. Okay, ADO Microsoft ADO.NET. If it is Oracle, then we need to go to Oracle version here. Sometimes we maximum use MySQL, then we need to go like ODBC. Okay. So here we have Sybase, Adaptive Server, Informix. So now we are going to create one profile for this just demo profile. We have to use the SQL client. Okay, because yes. So then provider. Here we have the data source. Data source is nothing but the host name. Can either give the IP address or the host name here. Can give the username, password, database name. Okay. We can go to the preview and perform test connection. Here the login failed for user is saying, which means the credential is not valid. So we can use a Windows authentication. Okay. If we don't need to give a proper, it's a reliable server, then we can choose this trusted connection. Connection successful. The thing is here the Power Builder will automatically generate a script for the connection. So for example, in PHP, we will create a MySQL underscore connect. So this is something like similar. So once we run the application, okay, before running the event or before running any object, we need to establish a connection with the server. Okay, so what I do before call the open event, I make connection with the server. Connect using SQL CA. SQL CA is a connection transaction object. Okay, so this variable helps to get this parameter to make a connection establishment and returns if SQL code is equal to 0, then message box. Title of the message box. Yes. Else. Fail. Okay. Here. It's an icon. Top icon, which shows something like cross. Don't need that. I would like to represent it. I mentioned here, we need to use the semicolon if we perform any SQL related scripts. Say if we give select star from employee. So this is actually an inline script of SQL Server, which is SQL script. It's not a Power Builder script. So we need to explicitly mention semicolon in order Power Builder to identify this is not the Power Builder script or Power script. This belongs to the database related scripts. Okay. And if okay, if we have any trouble in issues, then we have a help here. From which are not included, help not supported. It's okay. So we need to install this winhelp32.exe to open all the Power Builder help. So if I get a chance to install, I will show that in the demo. If not, I will show it in offline. Okay. See. Windows 8.1. Okay. As I said, I will show it in offline. Okay. Still, message box. Okay. Here we have other parameters. This message box is a method overriding. This is actually one of the interview question. Message box is a method. It overrides because the same message box has multiple parameters. Okay. We have the title, connection name. We have other arguments like button, default messages, default messages, and images. Images, in the sense information like the exclamatory, sometimes cross for danger. I will show it in another example. Okay, that's not a big deal. We are now focusing on the thread operations. We will check whether the connection is established or not. In our case, the SQL CA shows connection established successfully, which means we are good to go. If we have any error, we need to know. Say for example, I intentionally remove the server name here on. Okay, trying to perform the connection. So it's trying. It's taking some time. Finally, it can't. Okay. So the total application itself is hang, and we have that error message trying to pop out. Fine. connection failed. Okay, so this message is coming. But we don't know what is the exact issue is. So in order to identify, so we can have SQL SQL error text. Okay, so this helps to show what the issue is. If you try to insert a row in a table, sometimes the record is not getting inserted. We don't know what. We need to know why that is not inserting. For that, we can use the SQL CA. The main thing of the SQL CA is it is needed when we establish any transaction to the server. And we have the back and forth communication in the SQL CA. Okay, if the SQL code is 0, then it is all good. Say, for example, if we perform any update statement and the record is rightly updated, then we have to pass the SQL CA.SQL code right next to the update statement. So we make sure that update is triggered successfully or not. If it is 0, then okay. If it is -1, then something wrong with the update statement. There may be a chance in the syntax error or that the table won't be there, kind of. So here I'm reverting back. Same corrections. Okay, now we have the connection successfully established. So our intention is we are now going to bring this employee table. Okay. And then we are going to insert one row. Then we are going to update. So here I have placed a button, name it as insert. And then save. Okay, here I make a pass and I will ask some questions with the audience. Hey, Karthik. So for the CRUD operations, what we are going to do? What are you expecting? I think you are in a mute. Can you unmute and speak?
Yes, sir. Unmute.
Yes, please.
Starting in a so first on the table create from you. First I have create table.
Yeah, we created.
Then create one table, then set value,
Yes.
delete, update.
So good. Okay, as you said, Karthik, we are now going. We already created the table. Okay, employee. Now we are going to insert a record, but it's all going to use in a different way, which is in the Power Builder. Okay. So the greatest tool ever introduced before was data window. So there was a competition or kind of there is a more beneficial in Power Builder as compared to the Microsoft Visual Basic, because Visual Basic is not as much as OOPS concept. Okay, but Power Builder was very stabilized. It has its own PFC, and it is one of the OOPS supportive language. The main add-on advantage is we have the data window control. Okay, so this control really helps to all the developers to make the CRUD operations, all other application related activities very easy and very comfortable. So in order to perform this CRUD operations, Once we click the insert button, we have to have a row newly inserted here. Okay. And then if we select and if we press delete button, we didn't have the delete here. Okay. So the respective selected records will get deleted, and then we have to click save. Okay. So the update, this data window let us allow to update the record, and we make an update and click save. That has to be updated in the database. So only insert, update, delete. Okay. Before performing all these, we need to create a data window object for this data window control. For every data window control, we need a data window object. Okay. So this is CB1, which I'm renaming it as CB insert. It is nothing but the command button. Okay. So here we are now mostly going to perform browse operations like. So I'm naming it as DW edit or DW browse. Okay. So we must have the data window object, but it is blank. Now I'm going to create a data window object. We have the Power Builder object where we have all the major Power Builder objects like windows, menus, custom class objects. Here we have the data window objects, just separate sections. We have around 12 types of data window objects. Okay. Composite, which is combination of two reports. We can use this object to perform a report. This is mainly for owner or chief executive officer's report purpose. And most of the reports we can do this. Cross tab. Cross tab, all we know is the column is auto generated. So we will look into it in deeper when we get a chance. Freeform is the one is the data object. We can use it for the form creations like applications or anything. So graph, based on the SQL table, we can generate a graph here. Okay, this has the pie chart as we can see it in the Excel. Grid is something looks like the same. Okay, it's like an Excel. The group label is nothing but a barcode label. End up. So the end up is will insert the record like this. Simply we can use it in many purpose if needed. So OLE, rich text, tabular, tree view. Okay. So in this case, we are going to use the grid. Now I'm going to create a quick select. Okay. Quick select and SQL is something similar. You can also use the store procedure to create the data window. This is the advanced one. Now we have the web services also helps to create a record to the database or to the data window. So here now we are going to use the quick select. This quick select gets the database information from the profiler which we created initially. List out all the databases and its table. Profiler, we have a previous databases and we have the demo database connected, right? So these are all the system tables. One second, let me check the default table, which one was connected. This is the one we created now. I'm right clicking. I would like the IDE to connect to this database. Okay. Grid. So instead of quick select, I'm choosing SQL select. Quick select I can choose and we need to prepare a select statement. Okay. Here we have the employee table. These are all the system related tables, SQL Server related tables. All we need is employee. So we can choose the columns whichever we want. Okay. Now I'm going to return. Next, it shows the properties, something like this. So the grid is generating and it appears like this. Okay. So we can design. Usually the data window object we use to name it as D underscore employee. Okay. Which relates to the employee table. DW is data window control. D is the data window object. Every control, it has to link with an object. Okay. So we created a data window object. It's good if we give some colors. Okay. So this D underscore employee has to be linked. What I do, I go here, I click this browse button. I'm linking this. When I click insert, the insert record will get it. Is there any questions, Karthik? So far clear, right? When we run the application, first what it do, it goes to this database management system, get the properties, the parameter of the database, establish the connection, make sure the connection is established or not. And it calls the open event. Okay. Now we need to get the connection as a transaction object to this data window. Okay. For that, what I used to do, the open event of the window, when open the window, we have to give the set trans check. All our connection is stored in the SQL. Okay. So this is how we can establish a connection. Once open the window, we need to bring all the results. What I do, no compilation warning. It shows DW underscore employees undefined in this object. Let's see. For DW browse, Sorry. I'm giving the transaction object when the window is open. So for any window, okay, we have, so as I said, these are all controls. We have delete control, insert data, title. Okay. For every control, we have the events. For window, we can able to open or we can able to close. So this is the first event. We have the constructor event also. Timer. Close query. So these explanations you can go through in the internet. Okay. For the CRUD operations, what I give the set trans object, the beginning of the open event, and then I am trying to display the records from the employee table. For that, I use the retrieve off. Retrieve off will help bring the data from the table and retrieve it in the data window. And for that, we need some data to be inserted here. Okay, let me run this. Control R. Connection established successfully. Okay, we don't have any record. While opening this window, that set trans object connects with this data window, and then it will make a connection and try to retrieve, but there is no record, so we don't have anything to list out. Certainly in my right. Position. For example, it's today's date. Okay, get date function. So let's say salary is 55,000. And we can choose values or also select EMP position. It's not right. Question. It's my mistake. Yeah, Karthik, as I said, we can give values and then add the values, or we can also use select to insert. Okay, either way is fine. Okay. Control R. Connection established successfully. Invalid row column name, because yeah, we changed the name in the table, right? But we didn't change it in the data window object. Let me correct it and come back. In order to change any revisions like column changes or any size changes, what we need to do is see here POSTION. We need to check here column specification EMP position. I'm going here as a data source. Continuing graphic mode. No need. This I'll return. As usual, the new field employee position is treated as a new field and it shows its default format. It's okay, but we will correct it.
Yeah.
So we can align the data window columns using this tool. We can choose the column, press down arrow, or you can choose this column's size. You need to make it same size. We have to choose two columns and then we can make all height same. Okay, it's getting same. Top adjusted edges. Okay, so same size. If we have like 10 or 15 columns, we can choose it like this and then we can align it accordingly. So we have the values came here. So now this field looks more more zeros. Okay, so this is the format. The hash represents numbers, so it has to display like this. That's it. So first we go. Okay, the DOJ is not showing. Rate of joining is not right. Okay, we will look at it. So why does the rate of join shows character of 3? Is date right? We have to give little modifications in order to apply the changes. Here it's daytime, the date is showing. Okay. So you will get familiar when you use to it. It's not a big deal. Okay. So we have the select row is ready. The main thing here is in order to make an update or delete anything, you need to give the update properties for the each record, which means rows, the update properties, whichever column you are going to edit, which is employee. We are not going to edit the employee ID, which is default and which automatically gets inserted. The key column or unique column is employee ID. Okay, better choose key and modified columns. Choose update. So these 4 fields we are going to update. Okay. One more guys, one more thing. Due to the interest of time, we are reaching to 2. Can we extend 10 more minutes? Super. So the main thing is we need to give the update properties. Make sure the table name is correct. Sometimes if you use join, here it will list out 2 or 3 multiple columns tables here. It will list out all the columns. We need to choose which one we are going to edit. Okay, but simultaneously we can update only one table. Programmatically, we can update multiple tables at the same time. I'm clicking OK. Control S. So it's all import, export, template, XML related. We are not bothering about that. So meanwhile, I'm commenting this one because it's keep on informing us the connection is established. So when I run the application, it comes like this. Okay. We didn't write any coding here, right? In the save button, we didn't write anything. We have only code script in the window open event. We are now going to write a script in insert for inserting a new record, save for save, delete to delete. Okay. So for insert, it's very simple. We can just click dw underscore browse the insert row of last row. 0 means it's the top last, which means the first row. Correct. The position of the inserting row. Plus see insert row. Rajesh. His joining date is next month. Oh, it's yeah, it shows it accepts only character of 3. That's why 3 characters it's accepting, right? Let me check. Let's play time. See, the limit is 3. That's a problem. So we can go the properties of edit. Edit helps a lot. We can choose edit mask. Okay. And then choose. Yeah, we can. We don't need time here, right? Only need date method here. Edit mask restrictions. Okay. So focused rectangle doesn't need. Can pick this. Okay. Something like this. If I want to change the Karthik date to 21, as he rightly joined on 1st of June, for example. We didn't write the coding here. We will work on it. So right now we are now going to insert a record. So here is a test. Okay. 30,000. Junior guys. Since we didn't have any coding here, we can't perform the update. So in order to make a delete, we need to know which record we are going to delete, right? We need to know the record count. So for example, if you have 5 records, we are now going to delete the record 3. So we need to rightly mention which record we are going to. So for that, save. Save is so simple. dw underscore browse dot update. That's it. Okay. This will take care of the save. You make any row inserted and then click the CB save. This will update to the database. Simple as that. The delete is little tricky. We need to know the record. Say for example, we have many records. I'm using long LL, which means local long. This is the naming convention of the variable. Row count. Okay, it should go. We don't need the row count in this. Error row is equal to dw underscore browse dot get row. Okay, get row will help us which row the current location is. So we now have the second row or third row, which row the cursor located in, which row we are intent to delete. Then for insert row, we use insert row, right? dw browse dot insert row. For delete row, simple delete. Okay, but here we need to know mention the row. Simple. Huh? Anytime if you perform any delete, I advise you to give some message box. Yes or no? Correct. Sure. Delete. And 3 plus is the concatenate operator. Okay. Question mark. No cancel. Incompatible type in expression. String command now. So here it's we are concatenating long with the string. It's not possible. Okay. So this one makes me crazy. It's no cancel. Title text icon. Okay. And then button. Icon button. Icon means star exclamation. If message box is equal to 1. Okay. 1 means yes. 2 means no. 3 means cancel. If it is 1, then delete. Okay. Else nothing. Instead of we can choose end if. Oh, this is the one. Stop sign. It's not stop, it's a stop sign. Before giving this button, we need to give stop sign. Control S. See? Okay. So for message box, we have these arguments. Title is mandatory. Text we need to give. This curly braces represents an optional icon we can give or not. Default. By default, sometimes user presses delete at wrong. So what we again default as 3. Cancel. If it is 1, then only we are allowing the user to delete the record. Control R. Pick. Or if you want to delete the record 1. I'm saying cancel. We see this. This is the button. Exclamation shows this. Cancel, no, 3 buttons. Default, cancel is highlighted. Okay, no, it's 2. It won't delete. Simple. Now I'm inserting record 2. This is test, which we are going to delete now. Clicking save. The ID is generated. Yeah, save submit. Always save submit. Function F5. Ah, very good. The main thing I missed to explain here is for every thread operations, okay, once we perform the save, in Oracle, you may see that if the query what we pass it is confirmed, then we need to give commit. You remember commit? Okay. So if the given operation is correct, okay, code is equal to 0, which is correct, then commit. Data control language, yes, control. If any wrong, then what we can do is we can roll back. Okay. So now our SQL server is waiting for to perform the commit operations. Since we didn't give, so commit always have to give right next to the update statement. SQL CA does not have any error message. Okay. So here people used to give the message box. Error. Code. Here we can give saved successfully or not. Okay, now test. So Karthik, can you repeat what we have done so far? Yeah, please. Go ahead. First we created workspace. Then yeah, target correct. Yes. Yeah. Data window. Finally, correct. So now so it's already crossed 3 minutes. Can we extend 15 minutes? See, I'm putting a breakpoint here. Okay. Right click, then breakpoint. Breakpoint, which is where we are holding the executions there. Say, for example, before I used to run the run here, right? I'm performing the debug. And then running this. Okay. The breakpoint holds the execution here. This is how the Power Builder will come. Now I'm giving step over. Okay. I am controlling the execution. This is how you have to go. I would like to know what value is passed in the SQL CA. I can click quick watch. SQL code is 0. We have all other parameters here. Okay. SQL error text is blank. If it has error, if SQL code is not 0, then we have the message here. So SQL code is 0, obviously, then control goes here. The open event. Okay, in the open event, it goes to the set run subject first. And then it goes to the retrieve. The retrieve, we can see the output. Okay. Yeah. This is the output we have seen. So in order to see the insert script, we can go and put a breakpoint in the insert script and then debug. We know now where is the error, where the execution goes, something like that. Okay. So we can, so we didn't perform the delete operations here. Delete, we should want to delete record to, yes. So record the deleted, clicking save. Check the database now. It's deleted. So thanks for your operations. Do you have any questions to discuss?
Save.
Yeah, button here. Okay. அது உள்ளதான். Yes. Double click on the insert. What is needed? Right. Say for example, in the sales operations, in real time, once people click sales, then we need to print a report, right? Invoice. Then for that receipt, we need to prepare a data window. Okay. And then we have the properties like DWRI print off. That's it. We'll print the receipt. Simple. Yeah, we will see. First, for every data window print control, we need a data window object. So object, we need to design the print, whichever format we need. Yeah. The company name at the top, the product list. Okay, then we need to call retrieve, the print will generate. It's simple. We will see on going forward. Okay. Any doubt? Any other doubt, please? It's a good question. That's it. Huh? Okay, thanks, Karthik. Shall we wind up the session? Thanks for joining.